a golden clawed finger reaches down and it just touches the centre of your forehead and you pass out.
Oh.
Everything turns black. There's some kind of rushing. It's almost like the sense of air rushing in, sound of a kettle whistling, and you kind of come to, but it's dark. And as your eyes adjust, you realise there's kind of a weird green glow in some weird underground place. What do you do?
So I'll wake up in this place I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Make a listening check.
Okay. 10. Oh no. 14.
You can hear dripping water dripping down the sides of what appears to be some kind of cavern. You can hear that not too far away, but somewhere out of sight, there is sort of like the sound of lapping water. And beyond that, a sort of maybe some kind of crashing sound. But the cavern you're in is slick-sided round. There's a moss or a slime of some nature that grows on the walls, which is a slightly luminous green, which is giving light to the cave and allowing you to see.
Okay.
You can see that there are some sort of fungal growths around the walls, but as you sort of look around the cave, towards the back of the cave, it seems to dry out, and there is a different kind of sort of almost like a mossy growth back there, which again is luminescent and leads off somewhere into the dark.
First thing I grab for is my sword. Wake up. I'm in this place. Where's my sword?
It's not there.
It's not there. Oh! Is there anyone else around? Can I see, hear anyone in this cave?
There's nobody in this particular cave right here.
Okay.
So you've woken up. There's you're kind of in almost like a nook. There's a large stone underneath you. On top of it, there's a load of sort of dried moss, and then it sort of opens out, and it kind of disappears out of sight and disappears out of sight. This way, it seems to get wetter, and there's much more sort of slime, and this way there's like moss, which is luminous, whereas this way it is wet and luminous.
Okay.
The walls are pretty slick, like water has eroded them over a long time. There are sort of some lime, sort of stalagmites or stalactites?
Stalactites are the ones that hang down. Yeah.
Stalactites forming. I mean, opposite them there are sort of stalagmites forming, but they're fairly small.
I get up and I go to the less wet, more lit.
It's equally lit. Between the slime and the moss, it's a fairly average, but it's very, very like you're on the border of eye strain in order to just see what's in the general vicinity.
I'd like to just really hug the wall, stick along the side of the wall, and just kind of peer out here to see if there's anyone or anything.
Okay, so you come to on a sort of a bed of moss on top of a rock. You peer around with bleary eyes, wondering what exactly happened as a sort of rushing sound comes through your ears. You come to in some kind of a cave. Its ceiling is fairly low. There's some stalagmites forming. The glowing, luminous residue on water-laden walls. You can hear a distant crashing sound off somewhere nearby. And there's sort of some kind of moss growing out of the tunnel off to the left. As soon as you realise that you're somewhere bizarre, you hunt around for your sword. You check yourself, you check adjacent to you, you check around the rock, you find nothing. You hug up against one of the walls, looking towards the drier end of the cavern and towards the moss illuminating it, and you start pressing around the corner. As you come around the corner, it opens up and the paths go in different directions. What's it gonna do?
I think Libby thinks to herself, maybe I shouldn't be so keen on just running up and saying hello to people when I don't know who they are. I'm not in the castle anymore. I think it's really dawning on her at this point that the potential danger. I mean, she was warned about, you know, the forest and being dangerous, not to go out by herself and everything, and I think she took the warnings lightly. But now she's even more lost than she was, so I think she's starting to learn. So she hugs the wall. Can she come up to this sort of this junction and do a listen check? See what she can hear.
Sure.
See what she can hear. 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23.
Okay, in one direction you can hear. What's this way? A female voice counting. You're not sure what they're counting, but they're counting. Like 300, 400.
Nothing from the other direction.
And from the other direction, you can vaguely hear a gentle snore.
I'll go towards the gentle snore.
Okay.
Moving silently, very silently, hugging the wall. No. 4. I'll move silently.
Okay, it's you try moving silently and you sort of scuffle along a bit as you're going into the room, and you sort of find yourself stood facing the very man that knocked at your door.
Asleep.
His gold skin and sort of semi-emaciated form, seeming quite delicate and relaxed as he lies again upon a stone covered in moss. And you notice that there is chains around both of his wrists, again made of pure solid gold, and around his ankles. And it's just shackled between wrists and shackled between ankles separately. They're all solid gold though, which seems terribly strange even to Libby, because it's like normally prisoners are captured in like
iron shackles.
Yeah, you know, or just in ropes.
Why gold? That is incredibly strange.
And he seems to sleep easily, although there's an occasional sort of like and then it sort of goes back to sleeping calmly with a sort of a gentle snore.
Right, I'm starting to get the very strong feeling like fate is conspiring for me to help this man. He appeared before me, he asked me to find him in the forest, he warned me to run, or heard what I thought was his voice, to run when I came across him in the hide. So I think maybe I'm not. Can I do a listen check behind me to see if she's still counting?
Yes, you can.
Okay. 20, not natural.
You can literally just, okay, so you got it, you listen, in one direction you hear a woman's voice counting, silky smooth woman's voice counting, in the other direction you hear a gentle snore. You start creeping towards the gentle snore, and as you get closer you sort of scuff a bit, and there's like a as you sort of come around a corner and going, but he doesn't actually come to, and you find yourself stood over the man that you saw previous day, emaciated golden skin, apparently calm, with occasional moments of sort of fidgety, and and then returning to sleep. You notice the gold shackles, and you sort of just listen behind you, just thinking like, oh, did that scuffle get noticed? And you can just hear the distant silky voice, ever so quietly, in an almost imperious voice as well.
I put my hand over the man's mouth and shake him awake. With my hand over his mouth.
Okay. Make a. Ooh. I guess make a move silent check. Okay. It's fine. it's fine. It doesn't. It's just the best option I have. Man, you've got skills today again. You distinctly hear the counting stop. What are you gonna do?
Is there anywhere I can hide?
You could. I mean, it's the chamber that you're in is very small. It's almost sort of the cave comes steep, arches down steeply. It's virtually. It has gentle curves, but like it just curves around quite sharply. There's a few sticky outy rocks, and there's a large rock in the middle of the room, which is about 2 foot off the ground and about the size of sort of a king-size bed, if you like, which is covered in moss, which the man was sleeping on. Okay. You could hide. It's 2 foot high. You could hide behind.
I'll try and hide behind that. Yeah.
Make a hide check.
Okay.
Dexterity.
6.
Okay. That doesn't help, you know. The dice gods.
I know. They're all
dice,
part of the same willing force of the gods.
The all force that is the dice. No. Some people believe in the different dice have different charges. I've come across loads of different dice.
Well, you know.
Also, make a move silent check.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
17.
He looks at you, eyes wide and aghast, and you hear the counting stop, and you sort of start scampering around the edge. And he's like, "You came. You must free me. Set me free." I cannot. You must unchain me.
How? Is there a key?
As he says this, you hear. Make a listen check. Do you hear?
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
As you are doing that, you hear a sort of and then an imperious voice rings out behind. "Oh, my pretty, you are awake!"
Oh, shit!
"Come with me, my pretty," and a single sort of finger beckons towards
So she's in this room now.
And you haven't. You've gone around the other side of the rock is in between you and her. So you've got sort of a king-size bed-size rock, which is about yay high off the ground. He's still on the chains, and he's sort of looking at you and impeaching you, like take these chains off. But as soon as she comes into the room, he kind of pulls his hands into him and curls up in a ball, trying to get under as far under his cloak as he can get. And she beckons to you to come with me. She's like, "Come with me, my pretty."
I don't think so. No.
She cackles. She's like, "Oh, a spirited one! I'm so glad. We'll have so much fun, you and I."
I'm not afraid of you, you know.
She chortles. She said, "Well, we shall see about that, shan't we?" She starts to advance towards you.
I say, if you come any closer, I will cast a spell on you.
Make a deception check.
Deception.
Is there a deception?
There
What's
is.
the closest to
There
it?
should be.
Bluff.
Bluff.
Charisma.
7, 8. No,
No.
10, 11. I always get confused with the 6s and 9s.
Okay.
Especially when
So what is it you're trying to achieve? You wanted to believe that you can cast a spell on her?
Yeah.
She looks at you guardedly and stops approaching you for an instant, eyeing you up.
I say to her, if you don't release us this moment, I will tell you a poem so horrific that you will cry and cry until you die.
She cocks her head to one side. She says, "A poem, you say? I love poetry. Come, child, I shall show you."
shit.
And she reaches forwards as if to take your hand, asking you to take her hand.
Do I?
I don't know.
Can't ask me what you want to do. I take one step back, take one step away.
You find yourself backed up against the wall. You can feel the moisture from the cave wall cloying through your clothes against your back. A mixture of hot sweat and cold water. She takes another step towards you. There, young one. Don't be afraid. And she smiles a toothy smile. Shark-like teeth reside under beautiful golden lips.
I need to try and get away from her. Can I try and...
There's this big stone, right? You were the other side of it. She's advancing around
the other side, so I can just advance.
You could try and peg it around the other side.
Yeah, I'll do that to try and I'll try and match her position to always
match or run, because you could run out of the cave potentially. Because if you went to like here, she's like coming around here.
Yeah. No, I'll stay there and just keep the stone bed thing in between.
Okay, so it's like you're like.
So when she advances this way, I go around this way.
So she's like here. Libby's blue, isn't she? Obviously.
Blue and white, yeah, man.
So she faces you and she's, "Come, child, don't play these games with me." And you hear a slight touchiness in her voice.
Well, I'm not going anywhere with you until you tell me what's going on here. And why you brought me to this place.
And she just says, "Avagrim, just grab her, hold her for me." And the man shudders. Make a perception check.
5.
He shudders and sort of looks up at you, and he just starts to reach for you.
I'm here to help you, dude. Oh man. I try and make a dash for the entrance. I literally, try and sprint.
Okay, so
away
make a reflex save.
It's gonna sprint out of here.
Man, you are on a mission. What's your reflex save?
1 + 1.
Okay, you start to dash, and Avagrim gets one of his hands latches onto your wrist as you start to dash.
Okay. I try and wrench myself free.
And as you're trying to wrench yourself free, you can see her starting to approach back around towards the entrance. Make a strength check.
I'm gonna be. Oh god.
Dude! He holds you firm.
I don't want Libby to die.
It's fine. I really like it doesn't revolve around death.
That's
necessarily.
True. I just like her so much.
Well,
roll better then.
No, don't roll better. Think better.
Yes, DM. Thank you. Yes.
So Avagrim has hold of one hand. Make a perception check. And you're trying to wrench your hand free, and then you sort of look at him beseechingly, and he looks back like he doesn't actually have control over what he's doing. He looks at you like in a sort of there's a look of horror on his face at what he's doing almost. And as you look him in the face, you feel a hand rest upon your shoulder. And then go and sort of grab you by the scruff of your hair and be like, "Now come with me, child." And he lets go, and you sort of start getting marched out of the room that you're in by sort of the hair at the nape of your neck. And so she grabs like a big bundle of your hair around the nape and is sort of pushing your head forward and down, like, "Come, child, come with me." You find yourself walking not very far at all. You walk around the corner towards where you thought you heard counter coming from. There's a voluptuous purple velvet curtain suspended across what's clearly a brightly lit cave. she's holding your hair by the nape of the neck, and she sweeps the curtain back, and she goes, "Look, child, you see? And before you is a huge chamber, brightly lit, full of gold, gems, all manner of amazing things."
Whoa.
Make a perception check.
Fail.
All you can see, you're just blinded by the wealth in front of you and the complete shop. And you can see in the middle of this chamber there is a small table, small wooden table, with just one small wooden chair, and on it is a small book with a quill and ink, and on one side is a pile of neatly stacked coins, and on the other side the sort of gold mountain just comes down. Next to this neatly stacked coins there's a chest on the floor with the lid shut. And she's holding your hand and she goes, "So gal, wench, can you count?"
Yes.
Well, in that case you're of use to me. Do you write?
Yes.
She says, "Oh, excellent, excellent." And she sort of takes you and plonks you down and she goes, "Don't you move." And she turns and starts heading towards the heap of gold. Well, I say heading towards. Wow. The velvet curtain is now shut behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You're sat in a chair, and it's a proper chair, you know, it's got arms, it's got things, it's actually very, very comfortable.
Okay.
And she goes, "Don't mind me, you can start counting now. Take the gold from the right, tally it into the book, and put it on the counter to your left. Stacks of 100, please."
I do as she says.
So you start counting and tallying. Okay. So you start counting and tallying, and you hear a rummaging sort of off to the left and behind you. You can hear sort of gold sliding like, and you can hear sort of small chests opening, and she's like, "No, no, no, I'm sure it's around here somewhere." She seems to have relaxed a bit now that you're working. She's like, "Oh, and dear, do count out loud.
Okay.
I would hate for things to be done incorrectly now, wouldn't I?" What do you do?
Could I have a look around this room and sort of like to get a look on her person as well, like a sly spot check to see if I can see anything that would resemble a key that might fit those shackles
Okay, yeah,
of the guy. 9.
Don't notice a key, but you do notice that wedged in amongst a stack of gold, sticking out of the top of it, is a leather scabbard and the hilt of a familiar sword.
Arm's length, arm's reach.
No, it's sort of
On the other side of the room.
Which way have you looked? Left or right?
Left.
Okay, so you glance to your left and you see her. She seems to sort of be head down, literally rummaging through gold, pulling up chests, opening them, looking in, putting them to one side. So she seems buried amongst the gold. You notice there are sort of various sort of tips of chests sticking out of the top, and there are a lot of them, and you have no idea what might be in them. But on sort of the other side of the golden woman, there is where the gold sort of heaps up, and it heaps up to sort of 20 feet high overall, but so maybe 8 feet up. There's a sword just stabbed in.
Still in the scabbard.
Still in the scabbard, sticking out of the top.
Okay. Are there any other bits of weaponry in here? Lying around? 6.
Your eye is drawn only to your sword and your want for Father to not be angry with you.
I think at this point Father's going to be more angry that I might be lost rather than the sword.
But would Libby think that?
No. No, that's me. So she continues to count, not drawing any attention to herself, and I think what she's going to do is just play along to try and find the appropriate moment in order to find escape or something.
After
like that.
a while, you hear. After a few minutes of rummaging and sort of glancing around, spotting where your sword is, you hear, oh, here it is. Well, my pretty little bird, can you sing? You say you like poems.
Yes.
Well, sing one for me, would you? I much prefer singing to just mere writing or words. Or if you must only speak, at least say it like you mean it.
I can sing.
Do you turn to look at her at this point?
No, I'm just continuing to.
Okay. As you're thinking, you stop counting and you sort of refusing to look up, and a golden hand comes into view, and it has this a tiny little bird cage made out of gold, and she puts it on the table in front of you and goes, "There, my pretty, sing for you and I'll treat you."
Okay.
Like the pretty little songbird that you are.
Sense motive? 13. Where is sense motive? What is sense motive? Wisdom? 14.
You have the distinct feeling that that cage is intended to cage you.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What do you say?
Oh my god. There once was a little girl who dreamed a dream she dreamt. There once was a little girl who dreamed a dream she wept and wept. She could never ever get the dream she dreamed. 'Cause life is not the same as that. A dream is a dream is a dream.
Roll dice. Charisma?
11.
A nail taps the cage and he's like, "This is not right for you. You are not really a songbird, are you?" And she goes away to rummage again. So what kind of bird are you, my pretty?
How far is she away from my sword?
She's kind of in between you and your sword. Your sword, you could sprint. You could sprint for your sword.
How tall is this woman?
Oh, she's about
adult size. 6
yeah,
foot.
she's about 6 foot tall. I bet she's a woman, so
slender.
she's very tall for a woman.
Really
very
long-legged,
slender, very long legs. She's absolutely beautiful.
Right. Okay.
In every respect, except that she has incredibly long nails of the same platinum colour as her hair, and she has these elongated pointed ears, and she has these shark-like teeth under an otherwise beautiful face, which is punctuated by the black pits for eyes. Keep counting, my pretty, and tell me what kind of bird you are.
I keep counting, and I say, I'm not a bird like you've ever seen before.
Oh, do enlighten me. What kind of bird would you be?
Well, I could show you, and I dash for my sword.
Make a bluff check.
If she's in between me and the sword, and
She's got her back to you.
she's got her back to me.
So you're sat in your chair, you were counting, this sort of golden hand came in front of you and you sort of, I sang my song about you. And you never actually looked up at her and it's like, and she was like, "No, this is not for you, you're not a songbird." And she sort of lifts it and she's taken it, she's turned and she's walked back sort of to here with her back to you. And you're sort of sat at this chair and your sword is sort of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and push past her.
So she's got a back. She's just gonna try and sprint past her.
Sprint, push.
So suddenly you sort of you're counting.
But I can show you what sort of bird I am.
You're just going for You say, "I'll show you what sort of bird I am."
And what am I rolling for?
It's strength.
Strength for running or dashing, pushing past her.
Yeah, it'll be agility. You don't have to push past it. You can just run past it. This was quite a big chamber.
8 for the strength check.
So you stand and the chair sort of falls back away from you, clattering to the floor. You turn and you dash. The coins go everywhere on the table where they were neatly stacked before. You start running and the woman stands and turns and you look and she's sort of right here next to you almost and she's turning to face you and her hand is reaching out. Reflex save.
No!
The hand is running out and you've got your eyes on the sword. You're reaching forward with one hand, straining as another hand is pulled back and held.
Oh, why?
Hand.
Why?
Talent. I mean, the chances of rolling a 1 this many times in a single session is virtually nil. But so you're kind of straining, almost like running away, running, reaching and running, and she's like, "Oh, you're a fleeing bird, are you? You're a small bird to be caught and eaten, perhaps.
No,
you have spilt my coin.
No, I'm a dangerous bird, and if you eat me, I'll choke you."
She smiles, and huge, sort of shark teeth row upon row, and she's like, "We shall see."
Bite her hand.
Okay.
Strength.
Roll a hit. What's your base attack modifier? Dex +1, 10.
So that was a 9, 10, 11 then.
You go to bite her hand. You sink your teeth into her. She's like, "Ah!" and she grabs your hair with the other hand. It's not quite enough to do anything serious.
Yeah.
And she's like, tilts your head to look at her and goes, "Look, child, I need someone to count and fill the book."
I will count and fill the book on one condition.
And she sort of eyes go wide and she laughs at the very thought, tilts her head back and sort of an almost musical laugh, like
I will count for you as long as you require me to. As long as you let Avagrim go.
She flings you to the ground. You're slammed against the ground. Make a reflex save. And you take 2 points of damage.
I think I need to bring my own dice.
Well, I told you in the last, but like they're very familiar.
That's true, I need to get more dice then.
Got more dice coming as well.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That was how many points of damage?
2.
2.
Do keep your max hit point as a tally as well. What you do is you hit the ground with a you hit the ground backwards because you've got hold of your hair and she sort of pulls it backwards, pulls your head backwards until you topple to the ground and she lets go and she goes and puts a foot on you and she's, "Child, you just get in that seat and you camp before I do something truly horrific with you."
Only if you let Avagrim go. And
Avagrim is none of your concern, young lady.
I think tears are just welling up on her face now. She's scared.
Make a charisma check.
17, yes. 19! Good roll.
Okay. The golden-haired woman leans down and she's like, "Oh, tears of a child," and a sort of long, snaky tongue reaches down and she starts licking your tears. And kind of seems to savour drinking them.
Oh my god, it's dark, dude.
What do you do?
cry more.
Cry
That's
more.
understandable.
Cry
She's
more.
like, oh, exquisite,
I'm
the
lost.
taste of pure terror. Oh, you're a keeper, my dear. I can see exactly what kind of bird you are. And she lifts you up again by the scruff of your neck and is like, come dear, come dear. She's like all sweetness and light now. Sort of gently hustling you along. She's like, just have a seat, I'll be with you in a moment. And she goes back and starts rummaging through the stuff. There's gold coins which were previously neatly stacked are all done. She's like, oh, and the page, tear it out, you'll have to start that whole page again. And you look down the page and it's like there seems to be like thousands listed on these things. She's like, yes, I know exactly what you are. You're a sneaky little Pippin-Jay. I shall find something appropriate for you. Something gold, yes.
Under her breath, to herself, she mutters, "Oh, Father, why did I not listen?